Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Nadex Morning Analysis. My name is Todd Rich. Oh, you know what? I probably should make that. Let's do it the right way. Sorry,
There we go.
minor hiccup. My name is Todd Rich. I'm with Nadex. With me from Keep Trading Simple is Brian Caprice. Before we get into today's morning analysis, I do need to disclaim that trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for everyone, that any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. And lastly, this is an educational session. Please do not construe anything Brian or I say as a trade recommendation. We are doing this for your education purposes only. So today, Brian's got his flags up again.
Still Brexit day.
It's still Brexit. It's been Brexit week. The markets are all kind of quiet. We'll actually talk a little bit about the U.S. equity markets in a bit because there was some news this morning. But really, the news of the week, once again, there was the dinner last night. I guess they didn't serve the right thing. Didn't go so well. So, Brian, why don't you take us off there, and then we'll talk about pound
yen. You can go over to the main kind of. So, although the markets are moving, but the markets are not moving. Just following up from yesterday, we had some pretty explosive movement. We were talking about the oil inventory report, and it was an absolutely huge miss yesterday. I know I was live streaming with my guys and was telling them the same thing I told everybody here, that I'd be looking for a rollover based off that pre-market move, and it did. It just tanked. It drove all the way down, and then ended up, it was a parabolic retracement back up again. So we had that move, and it's kind of back to where it started. Yesterday, we saw the exact opposite of what we saw here. Right? Really, absolutely nothing is moving. This is December trading. The euro dollar has only moved 6 pips. Dollar yen 22.12. I mean, nothing except everything related to the pound. Pound dollar down 166, and that was up huge yesterday because why? They were having dinner. Everybody thought it would get done. Dinner, drinks, yada yada. It ended up not coming to fruition, which the market was like, uh-oh, big problem. What happened? Pound dollar down 167, which is huge. That's over one. It's like about one and a quarter ATR, right? Euro pound up 117. That's big. That's almost double the ATR. Pound yen down 147. That's a little bit above its ATR as well. So large moves. Everybody assumed, the market assumed, there was going to be a deal done yesterday. It's not done. They're still continuing negotiations. And again, we're playing the retracements for that. Now, with that being said, we do have some positive levels. Now, before I jump over to the charts, I also want to pour on the U.S. data that we saw this morning. So that way we can just stay over there. CPI, I mentioned earlier that CPI was going to be a big kind of thing for traders. Why? Because it's our true indication of inflation. It came in double what the expected was, and we've already seen a pop in gold this morning because of it. And then the unemployment claim number. I mentioned that I expected the unemployment claim number to be higher than what was forecast. I was really surprised last week it was below, but this would have a major effect on the markets. Now, what's interesting about this is the higher inflation is kind of one side of the story. That's like, oh, okay, the markets, we're seeing inflation. That's good for the economy. But then we just saw an absolutely huge miss. The forecast was 723,000 new first-time claims. It came in at 853,000. 150,000 miss to the top side. That's a lot of people filing for unemployment right now.
Yeah, that is a number.
Yeah, so that's big. And that's why we've seen some of the movement. So I'm going to jump over to the first chart. Let's go over to pound yen because that has been the big mover. And you can see, when everything was not looking good, we saw this one go down with a lot of pound weakness. Then it was kind of, looking a little positive. Everything was good, and we saw the big jump up. And it's like, yeah, they're going to dinner. This will be wonderful, right? This is great. We're sitting here right now. Yesterday, we were sitting right here at this, kind of this high area, and it looked good. And we started to see a retrace back from that 140 level. Then we had a little bit of a gap, and there's some entries in here. And again, as this story has unfolded and no deal has happened, it's continuing to go lower, 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 and lower. Now, there was a small trade here. This was the same level we talked about earlier in the week, this 138.50. Again, psychological number, buyers had stepped in. There was one trade and ended up hitting and actually going above the 1 to 3. You can see it right here. It hit and went back up again. So it's actually hit twice. Now we're back in the level again. And it's not an area where I'd be necessarily willing to take it long again.
Why? 3 times the charm, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we've hit once, we've hit twice, we've hit 3 times. 4 is typically where I tell my students, expect it to break on number 4. There is a short-term trade if you really wanted to go short in here, although I'm afraid it's a little bit close. I mean, it is about 55, 60 pips, so you could take something across that level. A little bit of a Harry Potter run down, but I'm really looking for 138.08. as a potential level for a reversal. May hit today, may actually be like a middle of the night type European Open. And again, it will be Friday morning. So if they're going to get a deal done, I mean, yesterday was really supposed to be the deadline. And there's comments this morning about, we still may be able to get something in. It's really close. I'm thinking Friday has to be the absolute deadline for it at this point. So again, dropping into this level for positive news that, hey, listen, we're gonna sign a deal tomorrow. Because again, remember, there was an agreement in principle already.
Right.
They haven't signed it. So I think, again, if you wanted to take something in, small, we can drop down to a small time frame. You can see this level here. But a break of, I don't know. I mean, this has been a good for a long, but a break of 138.40 could signal about a 40, 50 pip drop to the downside. But I'm really looking for the 138.08 as being a bounce level.
All right. So let me take a look at that over on the Nadex platform. Let's switch the order of these so we know who is who. Hey, that makes it easier. All right, so over on the Nadex platform, here we are in the pound yen, and once again, right, I've got the same levels, and we're looking at the move this week. This whole sell-off that, nothing's going to happen. The exuberance that they're going to have dinner.
There, and I was like, what? The platform break?
No, in the market. Here, let's fit everything onto one screen. There we go. And then we're going to be okay. We're going to save. They're going to have dinner, and then they have dinner, and whatever they served wasn't the right meal. Let me. That's really rather interesting because we have a Fibonacci level that was all the way back down here too, and I wanted to bring out this level down here that you were talking about. So right, we're right around this level that I don't know. It's trying to hit it a second time. Brian's mentioning that maybe. This time might not be where you want to step in, but we've got this level below. There are some call spreads that are roughly in this area that might be interesting if it were to come down this way. Whoops, no, maybe not that one. Let's instead of call spreads, I think I would like to show the binary options because it's where you might get some quick price action. So I'm going to scroll down to the pound yen real quickly. There we go. And, because Brian was mentioning this is something that could happen overnight, you might want to be looking at the weekly binary options, which are tomorrow. I mean, they would settle tomorrow. And here we go. There we go. There are some price down at 138. 08. I mean, we're getting down into here. I gotta move the chart a little lower. So, here's the here's that level down below. Sorry. Let's extend that out. So there are a couple of binary options in here that the probabilities could get interesting if you're looking for a reversal. If it were to come down into this range, there could be a potential opportunity. So, all right, I know the pound yen was one. The other one being the euro pound. You want to?
Yeah, the euro pound is another one that I like to cover as well.
I was
just looking as well for knockouts on that pound yen. There's a knockout floor sitting kind of right in the middle of that kind of jumbleness down there too. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting area. Maybe kind of a go check it out type scenario for a lot of people. But I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on it. Euro pound, kind of the exact opposite, right? This is the pound, the second position, not the first. We've seen the same thing. Everything looked good. We drove down, and all of a sudden dinner, it was, they did not like the fish and chips. They were not cooked in the duck fat, mixture. It was only just regular peanut oil, and they were not having it. And we've seen it rally all the way back up again. But, and I will say, we're back up into an area, again, high back in the curve again. On the hourly, we've seen this level kick in before. It's been an area where we had, sells up here at 1934. We've just touched it again. It's in that 4-hour level. You can see up here. These are the ones we took last week. We talked about this one last Thursday, Friday. We're at that same level again. We're seeing a bit of a reversal. This one, I think, is, again, it's an area where sellers have stepped in. I actually, where I'm not necessarily willing to step in the pound yen, and again, there is yen exposure to that one. This pure European, UK Euro play, I actually am a little bit more okay with this one because, again, it has rallied really, really far. We've seen kind of not the best data this morning and talking about inflation, and it is lower than expected. The European Union is not in a great place either. So it's kind of both are bad, and there's been such negativity. Any positive headline whatsoever with Brexit, I mean, right now Brexit's not happening.
Right.
Any positive headline for Brexit will give us immediate pound strength back again of a deal, or an additional meeting to get a deal signed. That will send us back to the downside. So I do kind of like this one as far as kind of taking it and playing that rollover. So there's a couple different ways you can play this one.
All right, let's jump over to the Nadex platform on the euro pound, and let's go ahead. And by the way, right? I mean, hold on. Let me let's start with the knockouts on the euro pound, just because I want to see what's there.
There's one just slightly above.
All right, so and let's just get the chart populated. Right, there is one that's actually right here at your rollover level. Your concern here is that you get knocked out, right? So the better choice, just to give yourself a little bit of room, could potentially be, but I guess people have to make that determination themselves. But we are if you're looking for a rollover, again, here's that chart. Everyone was very concerned. They have dinner and it's going to be saved, to wait a minute, dinner went horribly awry. Any news at all, and we know that they're meeting again. I think they agreed to kick the can down the road, and we'll have another meeting later. Something comes out of that, you'll see an immediate reversal. So a short opportunity potentially in the euro pound, pending any news. But we are up in that level where we see a seller stepping in. I am going to take a quick look at the call spreads. The euro pound. We'll take, again, a weekly, just because we want to see what's going on overnight. And it looks like, I clicked on lots of things. There we go. Yeah, there's a call spread in here too that could be rather interesting. Here you don't have to worry about getting knocked out if it goes through that upper level of the call spread. I mean, you do have that optionality through tomorrow. So if we were to see a reversal, there might be an opportunity to go short the euro pound with a call spread instead of a knockout. But they could take a look at either one of them. Plus, there's always the binary options. It's definitely something to be paying attention to, because we are up in a range where sellers have stepped in, and quite frankly, a hard exit for Brexit. Kind of scary for everyone. So you'd think they'd want to come to some type of deal, in which case you'd see an immediate reversal there. You've got your you've got the European flags. I've got my nice American flag coffee cup. Let's just cover the U.S. markets a little bit, because the unemployment data. Let's take a look at the S&P real quick.
Yeah, I mean, and again, the unemployment data was big. When we were starting to talk, 15, 20 minutes ago, we talked about how this is already starting to move. You're like, what's happening? And I'm like, it's dropping. It's going down to a level. So this was actually a level. 3650 was a level that I was looking at. Again, if it's able to stabilize for kind of the U.S. Open, we've already actually driven into that level. So at this point, I'm actually kind of looking at, originally what we said, I was like, hey, listen, this could take a bounce. If it can stomach the open, everybody's like, oh, we have to get negative. That could be, the catalyst to jump higher. Again, a huge unemployment number like that, that means stimulus has to come. But the question is, would it hold until, I guess, everybody got in there? It's not holding. It's already starting to push down, and it's starting to base. So, if you look down here, there was a large emotional move the last time we came through 3604. I'm actually kind of more interested in taking this direction. Yesterday I said, when we met yesterday morning, we were sitting up in here, and I said, listen, this is kind of one of those rollover highs. We kind of see it. It's driving. It had a failure to go higher, and then we just collapsed throughout the day. So it was a great short yesterday. Today, I think we needed to wait for the same thing. I mean, we've had sellers step in here. I'll put the arrows, we've had sellers step in here. We've had sellers step in here 2 different times, and then now we're touching this area again. So it's kind of the same. This is hit number 3. I mean, maybe it does take a bounce, and that's great. But taking kind of a confirmation bounce lower, I think, may be a better way to play this one for most traders. And again, could we be wrong and get no trade entry whatsoever? Yeah, we could be. And if that's the case, guess what? No harm, no foul. You didn't place a trade. But if it does take a bounce, no big deal. But again, if we do get a pop down, maybe look for a pullback and a push lower. That 1 to 3 is in a fine place. This is the last time we had buyers step in. And even the 1 to 5 may not be necessarily bad to the downside. So couple different ways to play this one. It's moved a lot faster in the early morning hours so far. and retail traders haven't even stepped in yet to trade that number. Like I said, I think there's some definite risk in this one.
Yep. So let's take a quick look. And you're right. The cash equity markets don't open for 15 minutes. And I know we want to. I'm going to bring this just quickly up on the Nadex platform. Here's the daily binary options, and there are plenty of strike prices in here. If you were looking for a quick bounce, here we are at this 36.50. It's an emotional level. We talk about those round numbers. You would see these binary option probabilities move pretty quickly if you saw a bounce. So that might be the way where you can play this in a limited risk, limited reward way if you were interested in looking for some support to come in when the cash equity markets open, retail traders get in there and start digesting some of this news. I guess, we went a little long today. Maybe you just want to talk quickly about gold.
Yeah, I'll show it real fast, and then we can go ahead and bounce out of there. So basically, gold, kind of the same thing. It was an inflation story early. You can see that there was a pop. Let me go down to the 15-minute candle. You can see we kind of rolled right off that level that we had mentioned. I guess it was on the 30-minute. There was a level, and again, this hit early morning. This one hits, around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We ran into that 30-minute level. This has been the way to play a lot of different things is once the UK opens, kind of see where we're taking. And we've gone all the way from really 1831 all the way up to 1848, decent move in the morning. Now, since the data is in, we're starting to see a bit of retracement. We're also hearing stories out of Europe that inflation is less than expected. So although this is showing US-based inflation, we're seeing the rest of the world have absolutely no inflation or lower inflation. So the big question will be is, do we get news today on stimulus or do we not? I would say right now, if you're going to play a bit of a channel, I would say the level at 1830 is probably still decent, and then the level up top here at 1861 would be the kind of the opposite side of that one for that intraday curve. But right now, again, there will be U.S. traders stepping in, but we have an area right here where sellers have stepped in, and you can see we've taken a minor bounce that also. So,
awesome.
Yeah, drop this one to low and look for those tops and bottoms.
All right, thank you for that, Brian. I want to thank everyone for joining us this morning. I want to remind you, if you got any questions for Nadex, please email us, customerservice@nadex.com. Please be sure to follow us on social media. I always mention you're all here on YouTube, but subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll see our morning live streams that we schedule a week out in advance. You can set reminders for yourself through the week so that you remember when we're going to be going live. You got any questions for Brian? He can be reached support@keeptradingsimple.com. So please feel free to email Brian there. And with that, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. We'll catch you tomorrow morning and want to wish everyone good luck in the markets. Thanks.